Tourists are back in Tulum. Yes, the beaches are full again, at least during the first weeks of January. And yes, we all know January is traditionally a spike from high season. However, what we're seeing right now is something bigger than that. Because what I genuinely believe and what the data is starting to support is that Tulum will not have the same year it had last year. This isn't wishful thinking. It's based on real numbers, real movement, and what's happening on the ground today. In this video, you'll understand what's actually driving tourism back to Tulum, why the destination is repositioning itself for more year-round activity, and most importantly, the 2 mistakes you need to avoid if you're thinking about buying a property here. Because what really matters isn't that Tulum is busy again, what matters is who is coming back and what that tells us about the future of the market. After 2025, that became a year of criticism, with Tulum being labeled overpriced, overhyped, and no longer worth it, the reality today looks very different. So let's start with facts. Hotel occupancy rates reached 94%, driven by both domestic and international travelers, largely tied to January festivals and events. As expected, this creates strong economic activity. Hotel rates increase, restaurants' prices adjust, and yes, taxi fares remain a topic of conversation. That said, not everything that shines is gold. What we're seeing is a slow recovery, not a boom. Current growth is sitting around 1.2% compared to destinations like Playa del Carmen and Cancun, which are closer to 5%. But slower growth doesn't mean weakness, it means adjustment. Tulum went through a complicated period after rapid expansion, aggressive pricing, and a market that accelerated too fast. What we're seeing now is a more gradual, more sustainable recovery, supported by promotions, events, and more coordinated efforts between the private sector and local authorities. This season alone, I've spoken with many international visitors who've been coming to the Riviera Maya for over a decade, and who say they've fallen in love with Tulum all over again. What do you like about Tulum?
I love the people down here. Everyone down here, different cultures mixed together, enjoying each other, giving each other love and support. It's a wonderful community.
What else do you love?
Well, the beaches, obviously. The best in the world that I've seen.
Oh! That's not accidental, because Tulum's visitor has never been about mass tourism. It's always been about experience, authenticity, and real value. And that distinction is exactly what will shape what happens next. So why do I believe Tulum is moving toward a year-round tourism? First, we already know the low season months, August, September, October, and part of November, that have been historically quiet, and that hasn't changed. What has changed is what the destination is doing about it. The first major move is a strategy called Tulum todo el año, which means Tulum all year, a 12-month calendar of cultural, wellness, music, art, gastronomy, and film events. And as you can see, it is not just electronic music. The goal is to broaden the experience and attract different profiles throughout the year. The plan includes an estimated of $4 million investment with clear targets. The plan is that there will be 227,000 additional visitors annually and more than $270 million in economic impact, specifically to reduce seasonality. This is a joint effort between the government and private groups like Grupo Sabna that we all know that they throw really good parties. Now, second, the destination made necessary changes to correct past decisions. One of the most important is that they finally opened 3 beach access points, and we love that. We love that we can access the beach whenever we want without having to consume in any beach club. Plus, another great news is that the new Jaguar Park, which is the north beach stripe, today, anyone, either if you're local or you're a foreigner, you can access the beach for free. Yes, you heard it, 365 days a year, as long as you walk or bike in. We all know that there's like these new bike paths. I love them. Normally I would go on a bike because I want to do exercise, or in any case, go on a bike or get a taxi that they would drop you in the entrance, and if you walk in, it's completely free, okay? Now, if you arrive by car, you simply need a reservation at an Airbnb hotel, restaurant, or beach club. You arrive there, they tell you that you only call, okay? This is due to limited parking. Now, if you do that for locals, it remains free. For Mexican citizens and permanent residents, they only will pay 60 pesos, which is like $3 or $4. Foreign visitors pay 120 pesos, which is around $6 or $7. And of course, if you want to visit the ruins, the museum, or the side tower, whatever, there is an extra fee. But for only like beach that we all love, it's a very low fee. And if you compare it to the previous fees, frankly, they were super expensive. I don't know what they were thinking, okay? But this is a significant shift. And you can notice it directly impacted the beach activity and obviously public perception. That was one of the things that people hated about Tulum is all, that they couldn't access to the beach easily. Now, also some restaurants and beach clubs, they adjusted pricing after the, consumer insatisfaction. Profeco, which is a government institution that controls abuses, they closed actually some restaurants that they were abusing. So all of this is great news. However, obviously not everyone lowered their prices, but the market decides if they want to go to an exclusive, more expensive beach club or a more affordable one. There is a place for everyone, but overall the experience is balancing and it's getting better. Now, about transportation. I have to say it's a work in progress. Taxi prices haven't really dropped. We hate that, okay? But there are some apps like InDrive or AB Taxi, which they functions exactly the same as an Uber, okay? They have helped regulate the fares somewhat, okay? We know that we hate when a taxi driver wants to abuse, but well, many residents and long-term visitors, they opt for bikes or scooters or rental cars anyway, because they know that Tulum has never had an easy access to the beach. I would use a bike because we still have a town that is very bike friendly. Now, the third factor we are looking ahead is the 2026 World Cup. The destination is part of a broader national tourism strategy and will benefit from the global exposure, so there would be traffic somehow in this year. In my perspective, all of this points to a stronger, more consistent tourism cycle. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think, if these 3 points that I've just said will help the tourism today. Now, let's talk about the part that matters the most for my viewers and my subscribers to this channel. How does this impact the real estate market? But first, for those who are new here and don't know me, I'm Carla Torres. I've spent over a decade analyzing tourism destinations in Mexico and helping buyers identify properties that actually make sense. And I currently live in Tulum. So, the biggest mistake I see right now is that people see the tourism rebound and they assume any property becomes a good investment. They see these huge discounts and think that it automatically means value. Remember, price and value are not the same, especially after a market correction, which we are still navigating today in Tulum. So yes, prices have come down. In many cases, we're seeing between a 20% to a 40% reduction from the peak pricing. But again, the important part is that huge discounts don't always mean opportunity. For example, pre-construction deals in Tulum right now, they are advertising huge discounts and they carry a huge risk also. Some developers, they are under pressure. They are trying to recover themselves, so they are giving like this, the best deals. But if it is not near to the construction finish, I personally would not put any of my money in a pre-sale development right now in Tulum, only if it's like lots, which it's not construction, but lots could be, okay? Because there are many horror stories happening right now of people not receiving their condo in the date that was signed in the contract, okay? Because developers are out of money, many. However, what I'm seeing more consistently are these strong resale opportunities, particularly properties purchased before 2022, where pricing was more grounded and construction was more affordable. And now the construction is complete, of course. So if you're buying or investing, do it with criteria. This is why we started a new live series. Every Thursday at 8 p.m., I'll be here with Brandy, showcasing you the top three opportunities in the moment. So last Thursday, for example, we saw the 3 best houses in Tulum. We'll see here in the next video. So don't forget to subscribe, and if this video was helpful, share it with your friends, and see you in the next one.